What is up, guys? How you doing? Now, I put up a vote asking you guys where you'd like me to make my next coffee, and the vast majority of you said campfire. So here I am in my backyard because, well, I don't really have time to go camping at the moment, but it's going to do the same thing. I've got some coffee. I've got a couple of different portable coffee apparatus, and I'm going to make some coffee. First things first, let's light a fire. So while we're waiting for this fire to get nice and hot, because we are going to need a decent amount of temperature to get that water to come up, obviously, we're going to talk about a couple of the things you can use while camping. Obviously, you're going to need a grinder, unless you take ground coffee, but don't do that. Of course, good old AeroPress. This is also a good option because AeroPress papers are very flammable. They're a good little fire starter if need be. Good thing you're obviously going to try to keep them dry, which means you're always going to have some kind of little fire starter. Of course, another great option is the Mokapot. Fantastic option, super easy, chuck it on the fire. It's going to be nice and quick, nice and easy, and very mess free. Now, another one that is also quite easy is the Trickle-8. If you haven't heard of Trickle-8, I'm going to pop a little link to the video here because these are actually really, really good, and I don't think they're as known as they probably should be. And then, of course, we need some coffee. So I'm going to be using an Ethiopia Yigichef from our friends over at Tenango Espresso. These are delicious, very high quality beans. And like I said, take beans with you and the grinder. Don't take ground coffee. It's just going to ruin your coffee experience. So first up, we are going to do a Mokapot. Now I'm preheating some water, and if you're going to use this technique of sitting the pot on the wood, just be very careful because as the wood burns, it moves and then you lose all your water and possibly put your fire out. So just be careful with this. So as you can see, the coffee's almost ready. Grab yourself a cloth because that handle's probably going to be hot. And like I said before with the pot, this isn't the safest way to do it because if woods move, well, you know, things fall. So just keep an eye on things and stay nice and close to it if you're going to use this technique. So as you can see, that's not too hard. It's just like making a Mokapot anywhere else, except you just kind of need to keep an eye on the fire. Cheers. Oh, it's delicious. So as you can see, I've put the water back on the fire. We're going to heat it up again, and then we're going to run it through an AeroPress. So we are going to do the upside down AeroPress method, which is what I much prefer. It gives me a little bit more control, which is nice and easy. Put the apparatus together upside down. Pop in your coffee, about 15 grams. And now I've got 2 wet filters already on there, ready to go. So we're going to pour some water in, and this is the fun part. So obviously you're going to spill a little bit. It's okay, we're camping, it's fine. Now you can give it a bit of a stir, but it's kind of just as easy. Grab it, give it a bit of a swirl, making sure the bottom doesn't pop out because it'll want to. It'll start creating a bit of pressure. Go and relax for a couple of minutes and then we'll finish it off. All right, it's now been a couple of minutes. So we're going to grab our AeroPress. Now be careful here, you can spill coffee. So you want to hold everything together, flip it over, and then we're ready to push. If anybody watched our trip to MICE 2022, you would have watched me do this on a passenger seat of a car while driving. Well, I wasn't driving, I was passenger. So this is nowhere near as scary as that. And then we have another delicious coffee. Well, I think it's delicious. Yeah, it's delicious. Now for the filtered coffee lovers, especially if you're in the middle of nowhere, this is probably the best way to do it. You don't need scales, you don't need a fancy kettle, you just need some hot water and some coffee. Now in saying that, it does help if you can have something that can pour a little bit slower than a pot, as it's going to make yourself a little bit better coffee and be a little bit safer. So the Trickle 8 is definitely my favourite way to make coffee while camping or just out in general. It just makes it super simple. It's really easy. It makes the most amount of coffee and it is delicious. It truly replicates V60 pour over coffee without the effort, without the time. Pour the water in, go and cut some firewood and come back to some really delicious coffee. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourselves a great day and happy brewing.